The Fragsters and NRG are set to square off here in a best-of-1 on the back end of the Swiss system. My name is Trey Saranthus of the Desk Host for StarSeries Season 6. Of course, I-League's in there somewhere, too, around that whole thing. Guys, of course, do you need an introduction at this point, or would you like to give yourself one?
I think Theron should do mine, and I do his.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. Good CS player from 2013. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Pretty decent analyst.
Question mark, profit. All right, what do you got?
Got a man who's used to fuck up all the time, and he's not here.
No, about me, though. Oh, he still thought we were on him again.
Yeah,
Never mind. It's an easy mistake to make.
Sure. Happens. Nice. I liked it, though. It's very well done. So eloquently said. Never a dull moment with you two in the studio. I do thoroughly enjoy my time spent here. Now, let's talk about our matchup. It's NRG and Fragsters. Fragsters being the young guns coming out, pretty much surprising a lot of people up to this point. What do we know, and where do we start on the Fragsters?
I mean, it's a team that in Denmark for a while has been on the rise. A team where the players on the team have never really been on any other team. It's a team that formed themselves, so to speak. So it's not like they brought in experienced players or guys like me to teach them. They basically teach themselves. So in that way, they're quite unique in a world of Counter-Strike, where often you go the way where you want one or two experienced players to play with three young guys and then learn them and teach them. Where this team, they're constantly just progressing themselves and constantly learning themselves by going to these events and actually doing pretty decent. So in that regard, to me, they're quite unique, and they have been able to show great results both online and on lane, and now they find themselves in a prime position to move into the playoff at a fairly decent event where not even Complexity or Big had a big trouble, even making it out.
To be fair, though, when you do your lessons on stream, it doesn't always work out for the best. So, they maybe dodged the bullet on that one, as you're often unable to on the smokes.
Sure.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty interesting stuff come out of it.
They're pretty good, actually. It's pretty entertaining, I can't lie.
It's like first you flash this and you immediately just get dinged.
No, my favorites is where he actually does have some really good angle that's like an off angle, and he goes like, look, if you get here, you always get, and then the guy just always insta-wrecks him, and he's like, that's not supposed to happen. What is this?
It happens.
Those are my favorite ones for sure.
It does happen, and there's a chance it does happen today in the server. NRG and Frax are squaring off in a best-of-1, and it does look like they're lacking a little bit of color pigments over there on the side of, oh, there we go. That makes a little more sense. What, Duggan? I was talking about the
I would
the
just
backboard.
never use that phrase in any sort of CS
color
score.
pigment?
Yeah, I just wouldn't use that in
Why?
any sort of CS.
What's wrong with that?
Keep pushing it. See where it goes.
All right, well, whatever, man. Making nothing out of something. That's what they pay you the big bucks for. Let's talk about the Fragsters a little bit more in depth. Perhaps we even talk about who plays over there at the Fragsters. We do have an all-Danish lineup, and being as you are the subject matter expert, let's hear what you have to say.
I mean, one fun fact is that I used to play with one of these kids when I was 14 years old. We didn't know each other back then, and we were just playing gun game together. The guy called Dragonfly, who all of a sudden appears to be a professional player as well. Quite decent MVP player, and has been doing well for himself. See him on your screen right now. Consisting of Bobski, Stavn, Torben, and Refresh. Refresh being the new guy to this team as well. They had some rusty changes. They were trying to find a new in-game leader instead of Cyclone, who used to play with them. Found this Refresh kid, and he's doing pretty well for himself. He's actually putting up big numbers all the time as well. Especially at this event. And then you have Stavn, who's this young kid, sort of like a equivalent to Sergey from the Ns lineup. He's 16 years old, I believe, or 15 years old, and he's super talented at the game. Obviously not mentally ready to be battling out with the big guys, but he has aim that backs it up, and he's only here for getting the experience, right? The elder he gets, the older he gets, the better he will be, and he's a big talent for the future.
Now, these two teams aren't the losers that we were just watching. These guys are, in fact...
in fact, not losers.
Yeah,
no.
they've actually been on the up and up here at StarSeries. They're 2-0 going into this matchup, which doesn't have the same implications of back against the wall. You're going to lose and you're going to go home. So I suppose just off that alone is a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Well, if you're NRG, you were supposed to be in this position anyway. You are one of the #1 teams. I mean, on ranking, probably #2, but you're one of the top teams coming into this event. You've just come off a decent enough result at ESL New York, a little bit underwhelming, perhaps maybe should have been in the final. The other side of the equation, Fragsters is the shock, because not only are they 2-0, it's not like you can go, all right, they must have just got an easy path or something. They've had pretty hard teams, actually. They've had legit opponents. It was Gambit and Gambit and Big, two of the teams that, these are squads with a lot of experience, some quality players, obviously actually in the past, some star players. You look at the NRG squad. One of the things I like about the NRG team is I feel like they have a really good balance of people are in the right roles.
Right.
They don't have star players that have a whole lot of overlap. They each cover each end of the spectrum you'd want in terms of what they're going to do. So yeah, I think they've got a pretty quality side. It's just that their advantage and how they got these players is the young core, a really young average age. If I had to guess at 20, 19 in terms of the three. So the downside of that is that's why you're able to get all these talents into one team that isn't a big name in North America. But that's also, I think, what holds you back, because you can't really expect 3 people who are like 19, 18 to go head-to-head with the Nikos of the world, the Simples, and just dominate in the same way. It's probably just not going to happen when you're so young in your career.
And I guess a lot of the storylines around this NRG team have been the Bulgarian Bulldozer, right? We've been talking about Cirque for a while now. But for me, one that's kind of like really slipped under the radar would have been Breeze. And he's gotten a lot of credit in the past. And now I think some of that's starting to show through the fruits of his labor.
I think he's a very good player. He's a very solid player, and he's supposed to be the third star of the team. There's no doubt, and that role he fills out perfectly. So I'm not sure whatever he's not getting a lot of credit for it. I just think he's filling out his role pretty much perfect.
Well, here is the role of the, I guess what would be the vetoes. I don't know why that escaped me. We do this every single day, all day long. But we do have the vetoes in front of you. This is the best of one again. Guys, where are we playing?
Well, we obviously saw, I think it was Dust 2 and Nuke with the wins for Fragsters before. NRG doesn't want any part of that. Funnily enough, they have tried to play a little bit of Dust 2. Overpass, obvious ban against NRG. Unless you're amazing on it, why even risk it? So we've got a potential of Nuke. Bear in mind, it's on NRG. And if I'm NRG, quite frankly, after the way that game went before, I actually wouldn't ban that. I would have gone ahead and played it. But I guess they're like Mirage. I think that's a bit more of a risk. I think Fragsters took a risk in this veto here because they looked a bit ropey on Nuke at times. Did a nice comeback, but it didn't seem like a map they liked.
No, it didn't seem like they were in full control, at least. That said, though, I think NRG is fairly comfortable on Mirage. You can see in the losses they have is to teams like Liquid, Hellraisers, and then Ghost, you know, who's apparently the best online playing team right now.
Sure.
Whereas you've looked towards Fragsters, they haven't won the map the last five times they played it, right? And there's losses to Imperial, Avanga, North, Space Shoulders, and Flow. I don't know who Flow is, but the 4 other teams are quite decent teams. So it's not... This statistic doesn't necessarily say too much about how strong they are, each of the teams, but I feel it's one of those middle ground maps where neither of the team are feeling super, super comfortable, but neither of the teams are feeling super, super uncomfortable either.
Well, you might have noticed their NRG bested FaZe, and that wasn't a best of 3 at ESL 1 New York, where in which we don't really know what FaZe clan showed up, and they might have been all wearing masks, and might have just been some sort of like fill-ins, behind-the-scenes Scooby-Doo status. But yeah, I mean, that is a pretty big scalp to take in terms of, you know, getting a win over the opposition.
Plus, if you look at the Fragsters team, like, we've already seen this before, as I said, in some of the other maps. Like, I don't think that they wanted to see Nuke, but they won on it anyway. So, for me, this team, I mean, they live up to their name. It's just all about how many players are going to frag in the game, how are they going to go. So, I think in the end, despite the fact you're looking at loot bet now, I've made a hell of a case that if you also think that luck of the draws on your side, you know, you're feeling it, maybe Hellcase is the place for you. You can open stuff up, get skins out, and enjoy them.
Enjoy them just like you enjoy blowing the Twitch chat up for no real reason whatsoever. Go ahead and
unnecessarily edgy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. Hashtag NRG, hashtag Fragsters. You do get the opportunity to spam the chat. That's right. I'm inviting you to stop counting to 100, to stop spamming Bible Thump, Kappa, all that stupid stuff, and really get in here and solidify your vote. You know why, Duncan? Because change only happens through vote.
Yeah, vote often, vote early. And if you can't, rig the machines.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, if not, we can also hack the entire process.
They do that sort of thing around here, don't they?
Something like that. But either way, moving swiftly past that, we do have the stage. We do know exactly where we're going to be going.
They vote around here, and so should you.
Yeah, so should you. Should also gamble responsibly. And with that, of course, we're going to Mirage. That's the map. Let's talk a little bit about some of the variables, the perimeters, or perimeters, as you call them, on Mirage here, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, Cirque, the Bulldozer, is definitely one of them. I think Ethan is the best player from NRG. I think he gets a little bit too little credit for how good he actually is. I think he's potentially one of the only pickups you could go and look up from Liquid right now. If they want to improve their team, then I would definitely look towards Nath or Ethan. He's by far one of the best players in NA right now, and I think he's constantly producing great games. And I think that's kind of unique considering how young he still is. As you said, you can't rely on a young kid to constantly produce and be consistent, but he's doing it anyway for NRG. So I think he's one of the go-to guys when you look at that lineup. Obviously, together with Cirque, one of the best AVPers in NA as well. And again, another guy who may or may not be on this NRG roster unless they find some serious success. This is an event for me. I feel if NRG is not winning or at least getting to the final and losing a close game to a team like Mousesports or North for that matter, it will be considered a disappointment.
And understandably so. I mean, this is a team that's also being taunted along the likes of Liquid within North America, or I mean, people used to say Cloud9. Don't really know what happened there, but it's not quite.
They won a Majors race, and then you know what happened.
Yeah, well, kind of like all teams. You win, and then you disband. Weirdly enough.
It's life, isn't it?
Yes, something like that. Let's get into predictions before I get too deep into the blue and white here. Let's start with Duncan. Who's going to win this match?
I'm going to rely on NRG. I'm going to say their level's good enough. I don't think this is actually typically the type of team that would beat NRG. They don't seem like one that just gets the crazy best of one upsets. It's usually the quality sides that beat them. So I'm going to say NRG takes as well.
Yeah, I definitely second that. I think NRG just have too much star power, too much individual skill, and I think Fragsters is still a little bit too young to go toe-to-toe against the best teams. What will, give us an answer is whatever Fragsters are serious candidate in the playoff here. Can they put up a great fight against NRG? They could potentially take down teams like North, Hellraisers, who's not playing well, and all that kind of stuff. So if they can put up a good fight, still losing, obviously, that would be a great sign.
I think NRG are a favorite going into this one, and moreover, it should be a breeze for them as they are able to topple Fragsters if they are lucky, or perhaps if they are the better skilled team that they are touted to be. Either way, that does it for us here. We're tired of talking. We're tired of filling you with all that nonsense, so keep spamming chat. Don't know that the votes are going to get you anything anymore, but we're going to hand it over to the commentators who will get you where you need to be. Take it away, guys.
Yep, we are into our 2-0s. We've had the sadness of elimination, and now we get the happiness. It's like the balance out. That's why the later games are sort of like closer ones, like the one-on-ones and stuff like that. There's no one will be going home from that stage, which is nice at least. But yeah, we're going into, that upper bracket matchup. One of these teams will be heading in towards the playoffs. The top 8 is waiting for them. And, I think for NRG, that's somewhat expected. Fragsters, they've been playing very well. And I think that, speaking to them, the sort of Kiev is a good place for them. Like, they've come here before, they performed very well. And, I think qualifying for this, like, bear in mind, there was the online qualifiers, and a lot of teams sort of got invited afterwards who were lower down in the qualifiers. They won it. They won the whole qualifier. So, like, they beat the likes of Imperial. There were teams like Space Soldiers in there. Optic were in there. Sprout were obviously in there. That's why they got the other invites, because they were the teams to actually go out to this team. So, Fragsters have actually looked very, very good. Not just here, but actually in the online qualifiers as well. And I definitely think that, although I genuinely hate it, we're going to get another good Danish team.
How annoying is that? Risk is going to be so pleased, and frankly, I don't
Let's
think
just
that's
assassinate
acceptable.
him. I think it's the only way.
Well, that was a jump. Wow. Yeah, I mean, going back to Betsnet, this is where we first saw this team kind of make their breakout performance. They got 2 best-of-3 wins versus VP. They had a lot of a good series there, and then they kind of disappeared for a little bit. We saw them at DreamHack, make a bit of a storm, but by and large, they've been quiet. And now coming back to Kiev, the hometown heroes, not really hometown at all. They're all Danish, but
Got some green in there.
yeah, green. How is green Kiev?
Let's just say it is.
Okay, no.
Yellow and blue.
Does that make
Mix
green?
them together. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. Either way, this could be their chance. I mean, this isn't a worry for Fragsters, I don't think. It'd be great to see them take this win. If they lose this game, not the end of the world. You've still got a couple more opportunities.
Yeah.
And by and large, most of the time, the 2-0 teams end up getting through. And as Thorin said on the desk, it's not like these guys have had an easy run to this 2-0 spot. They've not been beating new teams or kind of inconsistent rosters. They beat Gambit, again, a solid team. They beat Big as well, on
solid
Nuke as well.
for Gambit, I would say.
I'm going to say
At times.
yeah, at times. Right, it's still Gambit kind of showed up in that game. I think Adren had a great performance, and that was quite an exciting match on Dust too. But yeah, I think they very much deserve this 2-0 spot.
Oh, for sure.
And this is the real test, right? You can if you want, throw in that question mark on Gambit. You can't throw a question mark on NRG. They've been really good. They top 2 the last StarSeries, just losing to Na'Vi. I mean, this is Frags' chance to upset, but definitely the favourites for NRG.
Yeah, I think that the thing with NRG as well is they're another team who I think are looking for a top 4 as like a minimum, especially when they did it when the tournament sort of had the big dogs there and they still managed to get right to the end. I think that will not be enough for them getting just top 8. So going 3-0 would definitely be a great way to kick off their tournament. Although I do say that a lot of the time the teams that go 3-0 are not normally the ones to come out later on in the tournament. Normally anybody who's unexpected up there gets a lot of research done on them, and I think there's going to be a lot of people looking into this Fragsters side. Either way, we will be doing that right now as we are into our pistol round. It is going to be a little bit of a boost up on short. Stown, the youngster, will be there to already start things off, getting that first kill onto Ethan, and looking for a little bit more, although Cirque will give him more than he probably wanted.
Ooh, nice shot from Cirque. He's straight into the B site. There's still 2 players here. We have a stack up for Fragsters. And oh no, Breeze just runs past. Dragonfly misses a shot, and somehow it's all flipped on its head to NRG's favor, but not for long as Bubsky's still in the site. This triple setup for Fragsters is looking good, but Breeze is just breathing through this bomb site with 2 more frags. It's down to the 1v1, and Bubsky doing so much damage, but he can't finish off the kill. Daps on 13 HP. This should be Bubsky's clutch, but oh no, he doesn't expect the position. And Daps is going to win the duel. That's such an awkward round to lose if you're Fragsters. You fully prepared, triple setup on that B site, early rotates, but all the duels won by Breeze.
Yeah, no, a good pistol round coming out in the end, but a little bit too close for comfort. Bubsky with 3 kills to his name, so definitely making things a little bit interesting. Of course, the aggression from Stown was there to kick things off. Either way, we will have a bit of a force buy, but this is something I've always loved about this Fragsters team. They are very much focused on their buy rounds. Like, they're a team that has been doing this for ages now, even though they've got such a young team, such a team that could be just going gun-ho into things. Bear in mind, Stown is 16 years old. Wow. So he is still very young. Obviously, we talk about on the other side, of course, that we've got some youngsters there, but he definitely takes the biscuit. And yeah, he's been very, very impressive, again, for a while. The biggest problem he probably ever had was sort of when it came to like MDL and stuff like that and just not being allowed to play. That's probably the biggest obstacle. It was like, oh wait, he's 15 and he's good. Nah, we'll just make a rule. You have to be 16 now to play. But obviously, he's allowed to now. But, well, I think maybe they'll be looking to try and get further in towards Pro League at the moment because they are playing fantastically well. Either way, as said, back to the point, they like to save their money to make sure they have a strong buy going into what will be round number 4. So what we are seeing is just a bit of an investment. Stown trying to do work with the scout. He's already managed to hit 1. A second will be had. And Bubsky's actually found another. This is getting a little bit close, but Daps, again, is there to save them. However, Torben, CZ, 2 low players, still a chance. However, he's running into the one who's not.
That was a sick flick round from Daps as well. Kills a man on the balcony, 180s in a millisecond, gets a second kill onto Stown. Again, that's the positive about these kind of rounds where you don't heavily invest if you are Fragsters and you go for these pistols, maybe 1 scout. If you get dominated, it doesn't matter. You know, you didn't buy, and they're still going to get a couple of kills with such minimal investment that, yeah, you can look at that in a positive light. Okay, we forced rebuys. Now we can just go for another eco, buy them next round, have those rifles. And of course, we want to see that AWP on Dragonfly especially. So, but now NRG has a chance to go 3-0 with a lot of money in their pocket, but let's see what this one Deagle can do on Bubsky and a single flashbang on Torben. We expect them to maybe pop themselves through connector and window. Torben is outside that connector on the A1 site as well. Fugly feeding himself into B, trying to get some info. There's the flash over the top. Cert blind, but they're just going to move in together. A nice spray control. Couple of kills coming through. Stown's the only one to get one on the CT side, and it's not the end of the world. This round is nice and clean. NRG, they should retrieve both AKs as well. They do exactly that. So 3-0 here for the North Americans. But this is where Fragsters come in with a buy.
Yeah, obviously the odds slightly going further into NRG's favour just because of the pistol victory. And it's been said by many, it'll be said again, it's fairly uncommon if you win both pistols to lose the game. You have to have done something quite badly wrong, I feel, if that is the case. Or your opponents have to either just straight up win the counters. And, well, yeah, Daps. I think if his opponent had anything other than a scout, he wouldn't have got away with that.
He got the tag to Daps, didn't he? And just didn't finish off the kill. Which I may be wrong.
I think it was the Deagle that got the tag, and then he just wasn't quick enough because he was looking to the guys on shore.
Yeah.
Either way, I think if he had anything else, he probably would have got the kill. Obviously, it doesn't matter. Double AWP setup comes in straight away. Refresh has been someone who, as a secondary AWPer for this team, has been incredible. And he's just been incredible in general as a player for Fragsters so far in this tournament. So definitely going to be someone to watch. They don't have much utility because of this setup. Now, the players who save most of the money have already either used a lot of that utility or holding an AWP. So we'll see. Obviously, a bit of a bonus round coming in for NRG. They've still got a couple of Mac 10s in play, Daps with one of them and Fugly on the other. The rest of the players have got their rifles in hand. Yet to see an AWP, but of course, well, even if they just lose a player here, I think they might purchase one into the next round.
Torben close on ramp, he's got to be careful. The split new connectors coming through and no one's watching it. It seems like Frags is completely giving up a huge portion of the map. Dragonfly does kill Fugly, who was boosted earlier in the window, but we've still got NRG all over this bomb site. Refresh hasn't been seen with a secondary AWP, and I'm sure that will be a surprise, but Cirque catches another player off on that rotation. Dragonfly dropped in from the window. The jump up tags down Daps through the wall, but the bomb has been planted in the meantime. NRG have no utility, but they do have their star players ready to shine through, and Ethan kicks it off.
You're already finding one back. It's down will fall, and it's left all onto Bubsky. He's got an awful lot left to do, and Cirque being in this mid position now with an AWP is going to make things nigh on impossible. Saving this weapon may actually be the right choice to make. Looking to try and find Daps. Does have himself a kit. He's at least picked one up there. But the fact is this cross onto the bomb should make things impossible. He actually misses the shot. He's going to try and sneak his way onto the diffuser without actually being caught. And he does manage to find the kill on Daps at least, making things a little bit closer. He wants that AWP. Will it be the death of him? No. He'll be able to hold on to it and give something for his team to play with in the next round.
And hey, when we're talking about young players, right, obviously we've got the side of Fragsters, all very young players, but on the side of NRG, Cirque is a great example.
18.
Him and Breeze are two young players. Cirque's 18, from Bulgaria, played in this Outlaws lineup for a while, and then NRG picked him up, and he's just been tearing apart the North American region. Really nice to see, considering how young he is, and he's being
that was a big move as well.
Yeah,
that was a big move, not only for him but for the team to just pick up a youngster who'd been playing for like Bulgarian sides pretty much his whole life, and well, for him as well, being so young to just move to America is crazy. Yeah. But either way, we're going to see some aggression here. Torben looking into the face of Ethan. He crouches past. Refresh not able to trade. Ethan, well, a strong mechanical player, and so is Breeze. Breeze is another one who is sort of like definitely been in a few different teams, but none quite the same as this one. I believe he was actually playing with Nifty previously. I think that was one of the teams they played with.
The old Selfless lineup.
Yeah, yeah. So you did a lot of talent came out of that one.
Yeah.
Although I feel like that was the main couple of bits of it, Nifty and Breeze, but both now, well, more so Breeze, I feel like in a strong position. Obviously, no one's doubting Nifty's talent. I'm just questioning the team.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the problem is with that new Nifty team is that
he's not AWPing?
Well, not even necessarily that.
I would
but
say that is a problem.
I think to me, without flaming, the main problem is that team only exists for the Pro League spot. And
you say without flaming, but that's what someone says when they're about to flame.
I'm about to flame. that team only exists to some extent because of the Pro League spot, and therefore you've got to keep that core of the old Splice guys, and these guys have been out of playing Pro for a while, and so there's definitely been some question marks on whether they can come back into
Are you saying the next season they're going to get rid of 2 of them, bring in 3 more?
I think that would. I think if they achieve what I assume they will achieve, which is probably not that much this season, because again, new team, right? Players who haven't played for a while. Yeah, I'd like to see roster changes.
So
already.
Thing is, though, if you were the one player they did decide to keep from the original 3 after that, because obviously they still need to keep the 3, so they'd keep, if it was JDM Nifty, 1 more. If you were that 1 more, you'd just be like, you're going to get rid of me next season.
Well, yeah, right, you just not if they play well. I'm sure there'll be 3. I'm sure there'll be 3 players in that team who can actually hold their own. We'll see. That's a whole other conversation because right now NRG they're 5-0 up. This is a great start to Mirage again. Kicking things off on the T side, especially good. We have got this double or back out for Frags. It's only their second proper buy round, and that was a close shot from Dragonfly. I think he may have assumed he would have hit that because it looked like it, but no tag coming through. Circus snuck up short, and even though Ethan's getting tagged just that little bit in middle, or underpass, sorry, NRG is still looking to go for this late round B play at the moment. Unless that bomb backs off through the T-spawn and they decide to go in through connector instead. This mid position should be used to abuse the short angle, but Stone, he's going to take down Ethan, trying to look towards that connector and jump back up into ladder.
See, Fragsters finally with an advantage. They've struggled so far in this match, but as you said, this is only the second buy we've actually seen from them. Still a definite opportunity, though I will say again, Mirage is definitely one of those games of streaks. Daps has managed to sneak his way into the corner. Refresh, is he aware? I don't think he has any clue as to the position of his opponent, and because of that, he's actually going to go switching his way away. This gives a gap, a small gap, but if it can be taken by Daps, he could completely ruin this round.
Problem is the time, and this is still going to be an A play, so that gap is not going to be used to abuse the B bomb site. Maybe Daps can cut off rotations, but he's not going to go too far. Dragonfly just has to hold on to this site and try and drop the bomb. Cirque has been spotted, but he hits the tag. Stown still gets a kill. That's his second of the round, and we have a player in Palace to drop this bomb the second the plant comes in. This should be a double peek, and Fugly, he is none the wiser. But Torben, oh, he sees the rifle, but Fugly still wins the fight. That CT peek comes through, but it's too late. The bomb plant is down, and Dragonfly, while he will drop Breeze, there's still 2 Ts up, and Fugly's doing the damage.
Yeah, he's managed to take him down through the box and leave it. Wow, now into a 2v2. That rotation was cut off. Fugly low on HP, should be falling, but he finds the kill anyway. Back into a 1 versus 1. Daps versus Bubsky. Damage being caught, but there's no utility here. The fact is, though, the bomb not planted for Daps. He has to go running, and Bubsky will be there to clutch things out. However, that was unbelievably close, considering the beginning position that the CT side were in. I believe that was a 2-man advantage. And then after that, only 1 player surviving, and of course, 5 rounds in a row. The T's have got plenty of money.
Oh, they can break Fragsters over their knee right now in terms of the economy. And that was unfortunate for Daps as well. That plant position was not good for the connector. Yeah, you may argue it was okay. You know, he can come in from mid.
He was originally in jungle, though.
Yeah, he had a Molotov as well. That's the big thing. If he plays even jungle there and he throws that Molotov on the bomb, that's a 1 round. There's no utility in that retake for Fragsters. So, yeah, just the post-plant position, a bit awkward for Daps there in the connector. Not a lot he can do. He has to peek. He has to make sure that, you know, that last player isn't sticking the bomb, but if he loses the fight, he loses the round, and that's exactly what happens. Fragsters, they do come back with a buy, Tom. They do have that AWP once again on Dragonfly, but so far it's a slow start for the AWPers across both teams. We've not really seen many opening picks. So let's see if that changes here. But again, as you said, NRG, they can so easily put Fragsters on eco if they win this round.
Oh. See, Dragonfly has the position in mid. We'll get rid of Daps, who's been a bit of a problem for them so far. He's just been sneaking around in the back line and causing havoc. Now the rest of the Ts, excluding Fugly, are set up over towards the A site with a little bit of aggression currently coming in from Refresh. Just waiting up on towards that dark spot. He'll be the first point of contention, although Torben may be watching in towards ramp. Dragonfly, in the meantime, has actually rotated away over towards B, and it's just sort of watching that murder hole just in case anybody does try and peek in or maybe boost up into the window. The fact is, though, it is just going to be an A hit.
Only 30 seconds left to do this. They have the utility, but look at this rotate from Fragsters. They're already peeling players over from that B site because Bubsky has crept his way into the apartments. NRG are on the site, and the Molotov will at least trade things back to a 4-on-4, but they need to cut off these 2 CT players. Great utility usage from NRG to do exactly that. But without a smoke, we can still have these CTs peak. Problem is, the flashbangs are holding them back, and that allows for the bomb plant. Dragonfly follows up with a kill, but do they expect Torben? That's a no. Another 1-for-1 coming through, and Fragsters are back into a 2-on-2. Bubsky in from the connector. It's the same bomb plant for NRG, but they have far better post plants.
Yeah, this time, although the ramp spot is a little bit of a problem, actually, for Cirque. It's definitely not the best place, but he still manages to stop them rotating, and if they can't get to the bomb, then he doesn't have any troubles, and Breeze will cut off anybody trying to get towards his teammate. It is going to be 6-1, and well, now the pain train really begins for Fragsters as they had no reserve cash. That was a round they needed to take, but NRG at the moment just looking too good.
Yeah, that was a default plan, actually, excuse me. So you were right. That
You're
could have been...
excused.
Thank you, Tom. That could have been very, very bad, but luckily, Cirque, again, a very aggressive AWPer. He's going to just watch the cross instead. You know, if you have a rifle, maybe you don't want to do that. If you have a man disadvantage, maybe not, but considering 2v2, you've got an AWP, yeah, take that fight, stop them from crossing to the bomb, win the round with just a single kill, and Cirque does exactly that. So, yeah, we're in a bit of an awkward spot for Fragsters in terms of the money. That's going to be reset, as we said.
I feel like they're a much more sort of like in terms of emotions though with Fragsters, they're a much more calm and calculated team. Like I don't think I've seen a position with this team where they've been just like completely off the rails, out of control. They just seem like calm.
A big part of that is expectations. So again, if you're Fragsters, no one expects you. Not that no one expects you to win this game, but you know, like if you lose this game, it's not a worry. You know, you're still a young team. You're still underdogs. There's not that much pressure on you when you're, you know, you've got something to. Got a standard to hold yourself to. It's so much easier to feel down about your performance. Maybe that could change in the future, but for now, yeah, if NRG stop this game, I'm not even going to be worried for Fragsters. I still think they have an opportunity to bounce back. They are 2-0 right now. But NRG, it's good to see that they're sticking it to them. A strong performance like we know these North American players can show. Again, second place last StarSeries, and that had some of the best teams in the world in, so yeah, this 3-0 for the group stage, this would be very much expected for NRG in this kind of event.
Yeah, for sure. And they've made a lot of the online qualifiers a lot of the time look fairly easy. Although I don't believe they won it this time. May be mistaken there. There are definitely multiple teams added. Stown is actually going to get the opening kill, and that is a rifle still in hand. Can Torben find anything through the box? He's hitting shots, but not quite doing as much damage as he would have liked. Of course, for the CT side, saving the weapons is going to be valuable, but with a man advantage, you know there's a temptation to go for something here. They have pretty much forced everything they've got into this round anyway, so they want to try and get that round victory rather than just play exactly the same round in the next, but with one extra rifle. Already we do see them trying to force the issue, but they don't have any utility already. Zerg is going to find one, but it's only traded out. Still, the CT side have some life left in this round, and that AK is just going to fall into the hands of another Fugly. Still, it's only one. Someone needs to double up, and it seems like it's going to be Daps. However, with 1 HP, well, I was going to say Torben has a chance, but Zerg never gave me any doubt.
Yeah, that's a lack of utility on the retake coming in to hurt you. It can ruin you on a map like Mirage. Utility is so important for retaking on that A bomb site. Cirque just has such open lines of fire. And 2 kills on the retake for him, or the defense for, rather. Daps, same story, great spray to actually keep things in check. And coming out of the Palace at an opportune moment as well after he started losing teammates. That could have definitely gotten out of control, but Fragsters having limitations in that round in terms of only 2 rifles and 3 pistols. Now it's even worse, Tom. Now they're down to literally default pistols. We've got a Zeus on Stown. He's close on ramp. Flashbang on Bubsky already used to get himself into the underpass, but Breeze is waiting for it. He's so ready for this shot, and there it is. Bubsky's dead. And yeah, if you have any expectations of this this round for Fragsters, then you're deluded because that's everything gone.
Hey, that's not very nice.
That's a shame.
I would say I've been thinking the Fragsters logo when you see it in the spawn, that looks like some sort of like in-game collectible. You just you got to climb up the stairs and it will give you like double damage or just something of the sort. It looks awesome. I like it. I like seeing all the stuff like floating around in the game.
Production's been really good so far this event. I very much enjoy the above shots of like post plants, right?
Yeah.
Where we can see how everyone's set up, and it gives you a far, like you can look at the map and you can look at the player's perspective, but seeing a view from above gives you a far better idea of how these teams set up in terms of crossfires, in terms of trading positions and post plants, or even CT setups, and that's really enjoyable to see. You feel like you learn a lot more about how certain teams like to play by seeing these camera shots. So keep that up, guys. And, well, someone else who should be keeping this up is NRG. They are 8-1 right now, Tom.
Yeah, they are looking like one of the teams to beat in this tournament so far. And Stown will even hit a dink towards the end, but it isn't going to make any difference to this round for the side of Fragsters. And, well, NRG are very much comfortable at the moment, already winning themselves the T half. And I would say that this map is more of on the even side. A lot of the time it just comes down to which is preferred by the team itself. We are going to have a buy back in now. We'll have the AWP in on Dragonfly. It's only the solo one. They wanted that double AWP setup into play, and already Breeze, he was handed the AWP just for the early part of the round based off of the spawn. And it was definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, that's taking down Dragonfly. That's taking down the AWP. Stown does retrieve it and take that towards a B site, but the problem is losing a man that early means Fragsters have to give up a large portion of the map. They will give up that window. And while Stown moves up short to try and defend on this B bomb site, it's still... Ooh, that's awkward, actually, because that was the only flashbang Refresh had. He was trying to flash Stown into middle. But unfortunately, not going to happen now. Either way, it wouldn't have made too much difference because NRG are set up outside of this A bomb site once again. Very, very, like, simple CS from NRG, but they're just hitting their shots and nothing's going wrong for them, which is nice to see. They get a pick mid, they set up for an A play, they win their duels. That just seems to be the T side so far for NRG, and the stars are aligning for them. We've got this rotate back in. In fact, Fragsters are fully stacked up on this A bomb site because of Bubsky pushing into the apartments, and now NRG are coming in for the execute.
Torben, a lot to do, but Stown, he's picked up the AWP of his big brother and decided, well, of the corpse of him, but let's move on anyway as the CT side are looking to shut this down nicely. Crossfire on the A site that is absolutely flawless. It goes from a 5v4 to, well, literally 27 damage done by that whole take from NRG.
Yeah, just as I commend NRG on just having the fundamentals and basics, we see one by one these players walk into that A bomb site. That's quite the opposite of what you want to do.
Yeah, Fragsters is just more of that, please.
Yeah.
More. I'll take a few more of those.
So nice clean round for Fragsters. Exactly what they wanted. Because again, remember that first round they won in round number 6, and they only had one player surviving in the post plant on A. I think it was Bubsky. And as a result, they lose the next round.
Yeah.
Boom, the money's gone. And then there's another 3 rounds in a row for NRG. And that's how this half got so out of control. So it's important to, when you win rounds on that CT side, have as many players surviving as you can.
I think they've definitely agreed with you in the sort of worry of what just happened, because they've actually taken a tactical pause.
Yeah.
And I do like seeing that from teams. Like, when they've had a win, when things haven't been going well, they win a round, then they take the pause to just go, okay, now what are we going to do now to make sure that we don't just get sent back to rags? Because, well, the riches aren't always going to stay around, Hugo. That sounded almost like a threat.
Yeah. Am I the riches?
I've sent people to rob your house.
I'm worried.
You should be. Either way, we are back in. It's the double orb setup once again. This time it's down to take the secondary. And, well, as we hype up Refresh, he's currently at the bottom of the scoreboard in the server. It's a quick take coming in from the T's. Fugly looking for the opener. It's actually Ethan to steal it away. And the CTs really aren't in a good position here. Now, they've got a hell of a lot of utility. If they were going to retake this, it would be, well, pretty much perfect. But they could also take all of that into the next round.
CT spawn push again. It's pre-flashbang, and that's why the first kill comes out from Fragsters. It's, again, another 1-for-1. It's almost like deja vu, but Stoun's found another shot, keeping it in the 2v2. And there's so much utility on Fragsters because of the pace that NRG went onto this bomb site. Fragsters were playing with only 1 player here rather than the 3 they had in the previous round, and that's why things have come down so close. But Daps is going to get naded to oblivion, leaving just Breeze alive. Molotov for the bomb, but he's got to take a fight before he throws that on, and he's got to cut off the cross because it's not planted for him. Dragonfly wins that duel. And yeah, that's completely down to, in the previous round, Fragsters, they fully rotated early. They had 4 players on this A, or 3 players on the A bomb site. They were ready for it. Whereas this time, it was 1 man in the CT spawn. Torben goes straight down, and the bomb plant comes in for NRG. But still, a nice retake from the Fragsters.
Yeah, no, you got to give them props where props are due. It was a 5v4 within the first 20 seconds of the round, and they still managed to win it with 2 players surviving. They're starting to put the hurt onto the economy of the T side as well. As we can see, it's a Galil in play. Other than that, there's not really that much of a detriment to the NRG buy, thanks to the bomb plant. That's mainly why they have any utility here. Cirque's still on his AWP, so I don't have any doubts that there's still a possibility to win this round. And, well, pretty much across the board, there have been different people performing, but that's a great start from the youngster. 16 years old. There's fear. I don't think he's developed fear yet. Maybe that will come with time. He was just born confident because he's sticking around this smoke angle, and he's going to leg Ethan as well. I do love watching him play. Like, Stoun is an incredible talent.
That smoke as well is so good because he's actually jumped on top of it by the bench.
I think
they're going to run right past him. He still gets another frag off, and he can hide behind this smoke for a few more seconds while his teammates move in. They don't need to move in. Stoun's on 3, and Daps is tagged up as well. This is definitely a winnable round, and they haven't even cleared him from this position. He's just waiting for them to come out of the apartments. A Molotov will get rid of Daps, and this is just great work from Fragsters on this B bomb site. Only Cirque left standing, and we're going to need another youngster to shine through in this round if NRG want a chance.
Yeah, Cirque versus 3. 2 AWPs. 3 if you include the one that he's holding. Bomb down in the middle of the site, and, well, he doesn't have much hope here. He's got to pull off something utterly ridiculous. Going to try and fake them out with a drop. It actually worked as a fake flash. Down looked away.
Ooh.
He's trying to bait them in. He spotted the scope of Dragonfly. Now he could look to try and hit him through the wall. Instead, he just arms him. Not something I say too often. And Cirque looking for a little bit more. They got players holding the angle. They know that the clock is also on their side. 25 seconds left. He gets to first. Dragonfly goes down, looks for the second, and hits it as well. Cirque now left with just 1 man to find. Is Torben Iorden versus his opponent, and he will win it just about. But Cirque, that is not something that ever should have happened. How he gets into that site and gets 2 kills, I have no idea.
Ridiculous. And again, that's another round where, okay, even though Cirque loses the clutch, he does so much damage in terms of the money. Fragsters can't afford to keep running this double AWP when they're losing 4 players every single round they win. Dear oh dear, they've still got bank in the coffers, but not for long if NRG keep up this this kind of pace. Luckily enough, it's actually an eco for NRG, so this is Fragsters' chance to continue this streak for yet another one. A 4th, this would be if they win. But, oh, that was a close clutch from Cirque.
Do you know what the only worry I have for Fragsters going forward?
Yeah.
Not just in this match, is that someone's just going to buy stats down.
Yeah.
Because
Or just anyone. I mean,
That's
Refresh has been
true.
the best this event for
true.
Fragsters.
But he's 16 years of age, and he's already playing like this against like decent level teams. Like NRG are not a team to be frowned upon. They're not a team that just he gets 3 kills without any sort of response, and only goes down because Cirque hits like a sort of quick scope on him while like running forward. It's impressive.
The fact, I don't know, I feel like maybe Fragsters want to commit, like similar to how AGO did for so long. I feel like, and I hope that Fragsters want to commit with this team for a while, because I was so surprised that in the midst of all these Danish roster changes that no one from this team was at all picked up. I don't know the reason for that, whether they were asked or whether they said no.
I think they just fly under the radar.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the time. Like these players are just underestimated, and well, they're showing here that maybe they shouldn't be. Either way, it's going to be an execution coming in, quite a heavy investment, in fact, and already Breeze is going to start things off, push through the smoke. Refresh has missed him, but they've missed him as well. They're all running past. He's just sat in the corner here. He could be the snake in the grass or the man in the smoke. Looks for the kill. He finds one, but doesn't know that Breeze is just around the corner. So much more could have been done by Refresh there, but just didn't quite know. And Breeze is just, well, what is this? Where has this come from?
3 frags in that round. Dragonfly wants nothing to do with it. He's on the run, and that is a brutal display. They're even robbing the corpse. Grave diggers. NRG up to 9 rounds on this T side, and Tom, that was a forced buy after all. Let's think back to that buy. That wasn't everything for NRG, but they get everything out of it. 4 guns going forward. Fragsters push down, and here it is. Look at all the money of Fragsters.
Yeah.
Sorry, wait, no. Look at the lack of money from Fragsters. This is the 1v3 for Cirque, where he does 2, or he gets 2 kills coming back to help NRG. It's put Fragsters in a dire spot, a horrible economical situation. With only an AWP saved from Dragonfly and everyone else on about less than $2,000, I mean, they may as well force, but it doesn't even matter because they haven't even got that much. 1 FAMAS on Refresh is going to be it, apart from these pistols.
Yeah, this is a ludicrously painful round for Fragsters. Now, Dragonfly does have an AWP. That's something. Refresh with the FAMAS, and well, quick push from Fugly. No fear, that's for sure. And he will be finding the opener for his team.
NRG is just styling on Fragsters here. Fugly's going to follow up. Oh, he gets all 3 on this B-bomb site. Those pistol players are going to be pushed back.
Save.
And NRG, yeah, they force the save. Fragsters, again, nothing going on in this round. Run for the hills. As they tuck their tails between their legs, they escape through the palace, but the kingdom is NRG's. 10 rounds on this T side of Mirage, Tom. 1 round left of the half after this, and you can't say this is a close game.
Yeah, they need a refresh. Like, genuinely. Like, it's a pun, but it's actually true as well. 3 kills for him. Not the sort of performance we've been seeing from him. We can even look at, like, sort of the previous performances.
He was top fragging both their other series.
Like, versus Gambit, 29 and 17.
And the next best on his team in that game had 15 kills. So that was a huge scoreline for him.
And then obviously in the big game, 24 and 19. So again, both times top fragger, both times top rated player. And in this one, he currently has 3 kills. So
yeah, and no one's filling in that gap as well, right? Stown's doing well, 14 to 13. We got Bubsky on 12, but yeah, definitely missing a piece of the puzzle here for Fragsters. And they are looking puzzled. 10 to 4. The early short smoke coming through for NRG. They're going to speed this one up, Tom. They're going to go right up. The question is, why have they got the short smoke where they've got 2 players up in A? It's actually going to be a fake. They're diving down through middle into the connector really, really fast. Not using that short smoke for the typical intended purchase, just to try and offset Frags' estimation. Daps is run into the site like a madman, taking the head off of Torben. But there are 3 players here. There's still a defense for Frags. Dragonfly, again, mollied out of this CT spawn. NRG never smoke it. They'd rather take the fight. And Refresh comes in to attempt to stop the bomb, but he won't be able to do that. Spraying away. There's one. Cirque's in the open, and Refresh finds them both. This may be a round for Fragsters after all.
yeah, he stepped up at the right time. Ethan, though, comes in from behind and turns it right back. The table's not quite there. Nade will do a little bit of damage, but not anything to really write home about. Fugly is still around. He's been tagged quite low. However, Bubsky will now fall, and it's left all onto Dragonfly. The AWPer left alone, and Ethan's flank is flawless. 4 kills from him. 11 to 4 in the server, and NRG are set.
Yeah, and IP apparently colliding with this team, right? Get some Swedes in there. I don't think they need Swedes, Tom. They're 11 to 4 up. they're having their cake and they're eating it too right now. And it is all the young players stepping up here for the side of NRG. We've got Breeze, Cirque, and Ethan all top of the board. 15 kills for Ethan, 15 kills for Breeze, and 13 kills for Cirque. So very nice half there. Again, bit of a I don't want to say underwhelming game from Fragsters, because I don't want to put my estimations too high. Even though they played really well in the first couple of days here at StarSeries, they are still a young team in terms of their age, not necessarily their formation of roster. And NRG are proven against some of the best in the world, so
well, yeah, it's sort of like as well. Like I don't want to say it because I do think they've actually earned both their victories, but
yeah,
Big, the first couple of days were unbelievably underwhelming. In the game they played against them, though, it was very close and it went to OT. Gambit, I never know what to expect with Gambit. That's the biggest problem I have with that victory, is that whenever I see Gambit lose a game that they should win, I just go, nah, it's Gambit. And then when I see a game win,
VP, right?
yeah, it's like, nah, Gambit.
Yeah.
It's just in just the way you sort of, like, you don't really look at the result as like, oh, wow, that team played really well, which I feel like is a bit of a problem. Either way, looking like a retake A strategy is, well, the CT side have completely been shut out by the smokes. It does mean the Ts can now set up in their after plant positions. And, well, they do have a kit. There's a smoke. Daps with everything in hand. Flashbang is good, but there's so many players here for Torben to find, and in fact, he will get absolutely nothing, and they'll return with 2. Oh. Fugly adds another to the pile of bodies, and he's going strong now, and is left all onto refresh. This would be an insane way to bring it back, but instead, he's met with a bullet from Ethan. 12-4, NRG firmly in the lead.
The reason that's so sick there in the post plant for NRG is they just don't fight. They just fall back completely off that A site, and even then they don't play close CT. When Fragsters were in that CT spawn on the CT side trying to retake A, they were playing close CT, and when the Ts burst through with these SMGs with these pistols, they would just overwhelm them. Cirque and Daps and everyone there in the CT spawn went at very long ranges, so even when these Glock players get flashed into the spawn, I mean, USPs are always going to win at the range at which that fight was, that engagement was going on. So yeah,
I feel bad for Torben because it was sort of like he peeks out, he's like, oh, there's one guy, let's take a bit of a battle,
and then
it's just like
more
two
guys,
just pimps are in like, hello,
yeah,
just out of nowhere, and yeah, from then on it was just
that was really nice
destruction. Now they get the bomb down. It's a silver lining, and they're gonna go for it now. In most second round pistols, if I saw somebody do this, I'd be like, whoa, they've kind of lost the plot a little bit here, but the scoreline can sort of give you a little bit.
The reason they're doing this is because if they eco and it goes 13 and they buy after and they lose that, then it's 14 and they have to eco. Whereas this means they can get this buy and they can also get a buy at 14-4. They get 2 buys before NRG hit 15.
What do you mean they're going to win?
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's find out. Fast B play. There's only one man here, so actually Tommy may not be far from the truth. Bubsky's already taken that man down. Daps is dead. Breeze does keep things alive from the market, but we're still in a 4v4. Fragsters certainly have stake in this round. And Breeze, he's hungry. Trying to come back in through this market. The smoke, again, that's a really nice delay smoke. They can't use that window. It's very easy to dive through a market window, which is why a lot of teams don't like to smoke it, but Fragsters, they'll make do with what they got, and that's not a lot. Torben's already getting tagged down. Dragonfly's been picked apart, and Fugly, he's having a similar round to the previous. Again, massive impact here on this Silenced M4. Only Stown left up, hiding in the smoke, and even with this magical surprise, it won't be enough. NRG in with a retake, 13-4. Fragsters eco, hopefully.
But yeah, that was another superb retake from NRG. They did it in the pistol, they did it there, and they made it look very, very easy. It seems like, at least, it's very, very minimal from what I've seen so far in this game, but it looks like their communication is just on point. Like, they're so good at trading frags, they're so good at making sure that every single player has the information, and they've just looked excellent individually as well. Well, you are right, almost. It's not an eco, it's more of a decode, but it's going to be Dragonfly just saving. Obviously, he wants every opportunity to make sure he gets that AWP into the next round. We are going to see a little bit of a running boost over, but he's been absolutely wrecked. And he actually had the bomb. Now, a running boost with a bomb is a bit of an interesting one for me.
It's 13-4. I think we can forgive it, but yeah, you don't want to do that ever again.
We can forgive it, but don't do it ever again.
You get one chance
find
of me, Tom. You get one. No, apparently you're the one finding people. You're sending people to my house, Tom.
That's just you, not people. Just you.
Okay, well, I'm a people. 14-4, and these people on the CT side, shut up, are looking fantastic. This again, like Frags is not looking as clean as they have been this event, but this only to me proves the form that NRG are in right now. They are looking damn good. I think those odds are very kind.
Yeah, well, I guess after the big fiasco, people are a little bit scared. Like, they're worried about betting on Fragsters when they're down or against them.
Well, it's 1 bye left until this game is almost done. 15 rounds would be the score if Fragsters don't win this round, and they're going to have just lost bonus money. That's it. 2,900 plus bomb plant.
Yeah, it's not easy for sure, but especially, well, let's be real. If you've been watching the stream today, you've watched Sprout with a nice big lead and them lose. If you watched it the other day, you saw Fragsters down and they won. Like, I feel like people might just be being a little bit safe, and you going, you know what? I'm going to hold off betting on this one.
give it a couple of rounds, right? You never know. You never know.
Well, unless they go to NRG, in which case you do.
This is a top mid smoke for Ethan. They are going to be taking some mid control in this round, maybe, if Fragsters are allowing it, but they do respond with their own short smoke. So actually, Fragsters not hiding behind this, despite Cirque being able to go with the AWP, and Stown just goes through the gap. He finds the frag, and Dragonfly's even followed up on that A bomb site. This is falling apart for NRG. Dragonfly has jumped out of Palace, and he is absolutely tearing them apart. 3v2 now for Fragsters. Even though Bubsky's low, this is the best odds they've had in a while.
At the same time, Breeze is still standing. He is the top fragger in the server at the moment, 20 and 10. And that's not for the lack of his teammates trying to take that one away from him with Ethan and Cirque, 18 and 15 kills respectively. But we will see whether or not they're going to have the stones to take this one through. You've got Daps trying to make his way in towards a little bit of a mid-peak. Now, the aggression out towards ramp might give Breeze a little bit more information, and that's why Dab's peeking into mid, just in case they're being bypassed. But with no information found, you'd assume that they'd be able to realize that this is going to be a B hit. The problem is, I just don't think they're going to have much of a chance of actually winning it now. They don't have anybody actually on this site, although there is quite a lot of time ticking away. Maybe Daps can get back in just before the push is made, but Breeze is going to be nowhere near the action, and Daps needs to find a kill, and I think that was his opportunity to get anything done.
Yeah, without a free frag before the bomb goes down, they may just reconsider this round, and that's exactly the case. Grab the orb, save the weapons. You've still got so much money on NRG that it just really isn't a worry at the moment. So Fragsters, they're still in this game, Tom, and again, as you've already highlighted, this comeback is not to be considered impossible. They've done it before, and they could do it again.
We'll say this one's a bit tougher.
Yeah, a lot more.
A bit tougher. They're not playing against like a team that crumbles. So that's the thing I would say. Like, it's harsh, but that's basically what happened to Big in that sort of first matchup. And well, I think they even said it in the interview today, like when Smoothie was getting hyped up, and God B went, we've not won yet, so let's calm it down. And I think that's going to be an important thing for them going forward. But we're not talking about Big, we're talking about NRG, and they're not looking like a team that are going to let this slip.
Yeah, well, that was a horrible sentence.
That wasn't a sentence, that was a sound. That was
That was, no, I'm not going to make that joke. But, yeah, this is not a team that tilts easily. And NRG, definitely not that kind of roster, and plenty of experience. They've been in positions where they've been up against comebacks before, and I'm sure they'll be fine here. I'm not even considering this one until Fragsters maybe get 10 rounds. And even then,
I think 16's a fair one.
Yeah, by that point. Close ramp play for Ethan, though. He is alone here. That's the only problem, right? It's fine playing close ramp, but if you have no support, no one to watch your Palace from CT, no one to even flash you out or smoke off ramp if you're getting into a pickle, then this can definitely be a problem.
He does know there's players there, though, because they did jump down. So there's going to be a flash.
Nice.
That is perfect as well. It bounces back just to give all... I don't know if that was intentional.
It looked like a lineup because the players in jungle actually moved around to set up for that flashbang. Like, I don't know if it was a specific lineup to bounce like that annoying, but it looked pretty damn good.
The thing is, even if it went under, it would have still caught him.
Yeah.
It would have got him anyway.
You're not dodging that.
Great setup. And it hands Ethan the early kill. Also, though, if it does go behind him, then he can't be blinded. So if that was intentional, that was genius. I want to point out. And, well, Daps doesn't get much easier than that. He's going to find the lineup kill. Ethan's found another. Daps peeks back in. And, well, this is 15. It's down. I have a lot of faith in you, but not here. There's not even a point of damage done on the CT side just yet. And he has to find all 5 kills. They don't have much money either. Like, realistically, a save would actually be better, but Cirque's just going to put him down. Okay, he did 26 damage. He at least made it not completely flawless, but NRG, wow.
Yeah, this is just NRG playing lights-out Counter-Strike right now. Everything looking good for them as they are 1 round away from heading 3-0 here at StarSeries in this Swiss format, best of ones.
I believe this would be, if it finishes now, the 3rd most dominant game we've seen.
We've had a 16-6, we've had a 16-2.
I know we had a 16-2 and a 16-1.
When was the 16-1?
We didn't have it. It was the CyberZen versus Mousesports.
Oh, yeah. This would be the 3rd most dominant game. Pretty sure you're right. The only one I can remember even close is 16-6. That was the Tidal Ents game on Inferno.
And we had a 16-7 as well.
Yeah. So this is... and this is not the game I would have thought would be a stomp. I thought this would be far closer, but... It looks like NRG want to end this now. Daps with a double kill, 2 in 1. He's getting a real meal deal up on this B-bomb site, and he's looking to take another bite out. 3rd frag coming through, and there it is. Done and dusted. NRG are going through to the quarterfinals here in Kiev. They're going to have a couple of days of rest before we head into those playoffs, and Fragsters, they've got to keep fighting if they want to get out of this group.
Casual. Just look at them. It was a casual victory. I think they went into this one expecting to be the victors, and I think their goals are probably the final, if anything. Yeah. I think top 4 is expected, and yeah, they've looked impeccable. 3-0, they made it look pretty damn easy along the way. Fragsters, I don't think they can be too downhearted. They've played against an informed side of NRG, and well, now going forward, they've got 2 more chances to get themselves through.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a big problem for them as well, right? Yes, there is still some competition left in this Swiss format. There have been a lot of upsets. We've got some good teams down in lower brackets, but Fragsters have proven themselves versus Big and Gambit. I certainly wouldn't say it's impossible. So let's keep our eyes on them for the rest of the tournament. I really hope we do have another Danish team rising up here in Kiev. But yeah, NRG 3-0. I think if you would have shown me or asked for my predictions before the event, that's one of the teams I would have definitely put in that 3-0 spot.
Yeah, I think they'd definitely be up there. I think obviously it depended how North came into the tournament, whether they'd be in there. Interestingly, I could have seen Hellraisers up there, but that's definitely not the case. Either way, NRG, we've got an interview with them. It's going to be with Frankie.
I'm with Daps from NRG, and yesterday we discussed some issues with communications, but you didn't look like you had any issues today, Daps. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think today sort of went as planned. It was just, we breezed along. And I think they played a little nervous too. We sort of didn't see what they did earlier in the tournament when we watched their games. So yeah, just a casual day.
I was going to say, I mean, they did cause some upsets in the earlier rounds, and yet this time they didn't scare you one bit, it seemed.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised with the veto. We thought it would have been Inferno because even though we won on Inferno twice, they weren't convincing wins, I'd say. North was a convincing win until we started losing. So we thought it would be Inferno. I think they messed the veto up, to be honest, putting it on Mirage, which is not a strong map for them. So I think just they sort of screwed the veto up.
I have to say, after that performance, I am fully expecting to see you in that top 4. Do you think confidence is going to be a problem for you now, or are you just like, yep, we see the finish line and we're going to get there?
The goal definitely is to get to the finals here, because even though making playoffs is nice, it's not nice to just continually make playoffs and not win events or even get to finals. So finals is definitely the goal for this event.
Or Daps, stay on form like you did today, and I can definitely see you there. Congratulations, and we will see you on Friday. You've got a few days off, mate. Make the most of Kiev. Go and have an explore. Right, yeah. You guys in Twitch chat, we've got another match coming up. It's going to be Mouse versus Ents. I teased it earlier on, and now we do really want to know who you think is going to win in Twitch chat. But for now, let's head back to the desk and talk about that very quick match.
Thank you so much, Franker Z. Now, look, let's talk a little bit about this matchup, because this was a very, very one-sided affair. Honestly, looking at it, the Fragsters came out here very flat. In fact, in the first half, they only netted themselves 4 rounds on the CT side of this map. Jacob, let's get some professional analysis, then we'll move down to Duncan, where the banter kind of connects the two of us.
Yeah, I mean, the professional analysis in this one is just NRG overpowered Fragsters. I think this was a clear-cut case of super, super well-playing NRG going up against a team who does not have the experience, who does not have the level, who does not have the know-how on how to win against a team like NRG. You saw them being outmatched in every single aspect of the game, whether it was a fast round, an early round, or a slow round. Didn't really matter. No matter what they did, they were just getting outplayed by NRG. So good to see NRG finally picking up some form. The win yesterday against North kind of justified the fact that we were considering them as favorites to this tournament, and now winning clearly today against a flat Fragsters is just another testament to how well NRG actually are playing right now.
Yeah, it didn't actually seem like Fragsters particularly were comfortable on this map, to be honest. Like, they looked a bit whack. Then you've got to add in what got them through the other games they played. Really good fragging. Like I said, they actually lived up to the name. Like, it was just fragging power that made them kind of put them on the radar at this event. Going 3-0 wasn't really realistic, I don't think. Sooner or later, especially if you get really hard draws like this, you're going to lose one of these games. So I don't blame them for losing. It's reasonable. I actually think NRG is one of the best teams in the tournament. I think all in all, this is actually more in line with what you would have expected in one of the games from Fragsters. It was amazing how close or how well they did against the other teams. So fair play to them for that, but that's one of the factors that comes with inexperience, that comes with having newer players, people who aren't established stars, because ultimately, if you can really go in every game in a row, deliver a top-class performance, well, you're not a rookie then, you're not an up-and-coming threat, you're just an already great player, so not really anyone at the moment is on that level on the Fragsters, I don't think.
Yes, they come in here, and this is the 3-0 matchup, right? I mean, you both have come into this game with a 2-0 record. Do you think it's possible that NRG came in here and didn't take them lightly, but also didn't necessarily show them the respect? I mean, they have to know they're the bigger dogs on the block here. They have to know that they were the ones that were favorited to come out on top here. But do you think that could have played a factor?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think they don't want to show any team's respect here at this tournament. I think NRG is currently in a position right now where they have justified themselves as being a top team in the world. We were doubting them when we saw them at Starladder last time when they made the final one. You know, is this a one-off, the whole online season in Pro League as well? Is this just a one-off? But ever since they've actually been able to reclaim those results every single tournament they've been to, it's hardly we see NRG fall flat or do a poor tournament. So they've established themselves as a top team. So going in against a team like Fragsters, of course you want to establish that relation already, considering they could potentially meet in a playoff match as well. They know they're better. They know they shouldn't give them any respect. And as long as NRG is playing their own game and playing up to their own abilities, there was no way Fragsters was going to win this one.
Yep, Breeze coming through with a solid 22-10. That'd be a 116.3 ADR for the boy, who definitely was someone we kind of talked about and highlighted before the matchup through NRG, being this I don't want to say unsung hero, but he definitely hasn't necessarily had the spotlight to say that of a Cirque or maybe even Ethan over the years.
I mean, in the tournament so far, Cirque hasn't really been that crazy, to be honest. Like, Breezy's actually been one of the better players. Now, if you look at the overall frags there, when you saw them doing their ordering by frags, if Daps is ahead of your entire team in fragging, probably had a pretty bad game. You probably should have lost that game. Despite the fact that RG is one of the favourites for this tournament, like, generally, I do like it when in-game leaders are very reasonable, you know, and they're not, like, too egotistical or delusional. Not looking at you there, Big. But one thing I will say about Daps is, he is one of those players where I wish he'd go the other way a little bit. Like, I wish he'd have a little bit of confidence. Like, saying on that interview there, the goal is finals. Like, at this tournament, let's be real, unless you play mouse spots in the final and lose to them, there is no team that it's actually acceptable to lose to if you're NRG. You're supposed to be one of the favourites. And again, if there's only two of you really are the big dogs at the tournament, go ahead and say you're going to win the tournament. Give us a little bit of something to hype us up, something a little bit spicy, you know. Unfortunately, he played it a bit cool on that one.
Show your girth.
Girth. That's a fun word.
Girth, Duncan? Any comments on the girth of this team?
Didn't take them too long to get around, did it?
No, it did not. Yes, this was a very one-sided affair, and that just about puts that one in the books. I mean, they aren't eliminated, so that is the silver lining, so to say.
Far from it, yeah.
Within the Fragsters. I mean, they have found themselves this far in the tournament. Guys, we do have another matchup here, and it does look like it could be the likes of a little bit of mouse sports versus Ints. I don't know why that one. I mean, things have changed a little bit, so I had to, like, you know, kind of look into it. Either way, before we get into it, you guys got any quick notes we get in on there?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great game. I think Ints is definitely a better team than they're currently ranked, and I think mouse sports haven't shown the strength we saw at New York so far, so it's going to be interesting.
Could be interesting, or it could fall flat, kind of like that of the Fragsters. Either way, it could be easy for Ints or the sports that play, or the mice that play sports. Fuck's sake. Anyway, let's get out of here. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we got another best of one from the Swiss system.
Loot Bet.
StarSeries multi-cases, you are no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.